Welcome everyone, welcome to tonight's events. Come on in and join us as we begin tonight's festivities. To start with, let's find out what's going on with the other streamers' worlds and go from there. Jarl, things have been going crazy for you, dude. Talk to us, tell us what's going on.
Oh my god. Well, this week's schedule might be borked. I've been battling a washer repair, and the washer is a great washer. It's worth every ounce of repair. I spent like $4,000 on both sets because they do an incredible amount of clothes. And I think we took that for granted the last few years and just bought more clothes. You know, I wore the sweatshirt for an hour, so I'm going to throw in the dirty clothes and wear another one because we have a huge washer. Well, the door latch mechanism broke, so it can't lock. And because there's a federal law about washers with lockable lids so that children don't fall in, it won't turn on. It tells me, I will not work until you replace the door latch. I tried cleaning up all the parts. That didn't work. I ordered a part. It could get here tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. So at a moment's notice, I have to cancel whatever streams I'm doing the day I get it and fix this washer once and for all. But other than that, huge turning point for Death of the Deities. We are finally, finally we're getting her baby back. And for those of you who know what I'm talking about, I won't go into a huge expose, but her baby was kidnapped and taken to hell because she escaped hell without earning a soul coin, which if you play Baldur's Gate, you know that tieflings have to have a soul coin to leave hell unless they're born in the material plane. She left without a soul coin, so the baby is now in her spot. And they're trying to get the baby back. And it's a gross episode, so if you watch the VOD, prepare yourself. It's horrifically, like, body gore because it's in hell. But I'm so glad they're finally there. They were supposed to do that in episode 20, and we're sitting on almost episode 60. But that's fun. And Dump, I freaking love Dump's character in that story arc. John, it's so fitting that they went to hell, and I'm seeing some really good character growth and role play out of John in the last couple episodes, and it makes me excited. It's kind of like when Aragorn opens up in Lord of the Rings. At first he's this mysterious guy who just calls the hobbits names and isn't very kind to them, and then he ends up being this really smart, heroic dude, and we're starting to see that a little bit in John. But other than that, Medieval Dynasties updates have been insane. There's birds now. I shot a crow with a crossbow and he went flying 100 feet in the air, which was hilarious. I'm sure they'll fix it, but I'm enjoying the corpse launches. They've made it more efficient, so I'm running everything on Ultra using half the resources, so thanks to the developers. I freaking appreciate that. And of course, we're also doing the Red Dead roleplay on both PRC and Wild RP. Kind of bouncing back and forth. I'm trying to think of a new character to make for PRC for whenever Wild's dead or down. But other than that, I'm just trying to prepare for a lot of the really cool games coming out this summer and fall.
Excellent. Congrats on that all. And well, talking of John, let's go over to Dump. Dump, what's happening in your world?
Not much. Just been enjoying making things for DayZ. I've been enjoying playing No Man's Sky quite a lot recently. Their update has been a hoot and a half. Been enjoying getting back into that. And then it's been pretty cool with DayZ. They just pushed out 1.17, a pretty major update. They finally, for the thank of God, added the ability to make a super array to attachments in the config CPP, which I am so happy for. Just for clarification, before with attachments, they were solid. Only this item could take this attachments, and the mod after it had to add its own attachments to it, right? Mm-hmm. Basically, if a mod didn't include your attachment slot, that item would no longer attach to that item. Now, with the super array, I can say this item can go in this slot, and then every other item that has an inventory slot for that item automatically gets added to the overall list instead of it being a concrete list.
Nice.
So I'm very excited for that
That's
kind of stuff.
to give you an idea, because I'm a programmer. That's huge. A data array allows you to mix and match data values and variables in programming. I think Escape from Tarkov does that really good with their guns, like all the different attachments that you can do to customize it. And it's the one thing that DayZ has been lacking since its conception. So that's a huge move.
Yeah, it's definitely very big. Other than that, I have been just got done with Easter, seeing my niece and my nephew. Been very, very happy with that. My niece apparently has a new look that she learned from me, and I did not teach her this. The "do not talk to me" look. Where as you get closer and closer to her, she starts getting madder and madder. But that's pretty much my life.
Interesting. Well, cool.
I would like to give him a shout out because I don't think he is. I think he's selling them short. If you guys haven't checked out his Satisfactory streams that he does with Scott Dog, they are freaking amazing. They are hilarious.
Yes.
Watching the two of them, especially since you could tell that their organizational brains are slightly different, it is so funny watching them work together and diplomatically solve, like, their problem-solving skills. It's fun to watch. You guys should definitely check it out. That's on Sundays, right, Dump?
Yeah, Sundays mostly.
Mostly. That's a good answer. Moral of the story is, if you actually want to know when it is, follow him and watch. And when he goes live with it, that's when.
And watch Scott Dog. Do not be shy on watching Scott Dog. He plays amazingly fun
Watch
games
both.
like Disco Asylum or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't wrap my head around that game.
Disco Elysium. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh god, that game, I love watching it, but I can never play it. It's a trip. That's really the best way to describe it.
What about Diamond X? Huh?
Me? What about me?
What about you? What have you been doing, huh?
This? I have this game, I have the sci-fi game, and then prepping for a game, and that's about it. That's pretty much been my life, other than work and family. The last couple streams I've done that weren't the sci-fi game or this game were literally just hanging out, chatting, and looking at the stuff for the other game. So, yeah. I think we pegged down the time frame that I think we're going to start it in.
You know what would be fascinating? And this is just a suggestion. I'm not trying to call you out in front of the viewers, but I would love to see you start doing like DM prep streams, because those are so fun to watch. I don't know if you've ever watched one. But, you know, you're running 2 campaigns and you do a stream where, like, the first hour and a half or the first 2 hours is one game and then you switch over to the next one. Because I've seen some DMs get a lot of really cool tips, tricks, advice, and suggestions from chat. And it's always fascinating to see the work a DM puts into a game. And I think you tend to appreciate it more. But I would love to see, if ever you're in a dry spell, there's no video games. I know you just finished Cyberpunk.
That's what
which
the other
was amazing.
dreams have been, is getting info in and planning and just sitting, hanging, talking about it. Yeah.
I am gonna have to catch up on some books.
Yeah. So I think
when
I have.
I see just chatting, I immediately assume something else.
Oh no, I didn't put them as just chatting. I put them as D&D.
Dope. I have to look those up. I love that shit.
Yeah. So if you watch one of them, you'll see that I said that I think we're going to do start the game in 1975, Third Age, which is the year that Battle of Fornost happens, and the Witch King flees and heads back to Mordor.
That's gonna be dope.
Isn't it? But yeah, this will be the announcement since we're here. With all the players changing in this game, and there only being one from the original team, we decided to shift this one over with these same players and pick up again in a Lord of the Rings campaign. It's going to be prior to The Hobbit by quite a few years. It's actually going to be pre-Erebor. So Erebor does not even exist. The Mines of Moria are currently called Khazad-dûm, because that was their original name, and that is in full swing production. And those of you who know Middle-earth, what was their primary metallic substance that they were mining?
Mithril, wasn't it?
Precisely. It is actually the only place in Middle-earth to mine Mithril. And that is why the doors were actually inscribed with Mithril to create the moon runes. That is in the western door. And it was created by Celebrimbor, the ring maker, and Nari, something like that. I don't have the name up handy, but a dwarf smith. And those two were the ones who actually made the doors of Khazad-dûm on the west. And this was back when the dwarves and elves had good dealings, and the elves actually used that passageway to get from Eregion, and Galadriel actually took that passage over to Lothlorien and was actually setting that up before she received the ring. So that was cool. And so now the doors are shut, because they got shut in the Second Age when Eregion fell. And Arnor is now just fallen. That's what the Battle of Fornost is, basically the alliance of men and elves come to the aid of Arnor, but get there a little too late. And Ingmar has successfully beaten them. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I have been working many hours to get all of the information put in so that we can do that. I have all the stuff in there for player character stuff now. So technically we're at a point where we could start playing. But we are here, we are now. And winter is drawing to an end. Would one of you guys want to do a recap on what you recall?
I'll go ahead
Sure.
with what I recall, and hopefully we can fill in some of the gaps that I may have forgotten because my notes had Kool-Aid spilled on them. So last episode we kind of came to a turning point where Bjork is really fascinated with Lambast's culture, but the fascination's more of, you know, Bjork's kind of been beaten down by the whole politics between all the islands, witnessing the raid firsthand, how powerless they are. He had decided that he wants to go on a Viking and settle in another land. And part of his fascination with Lambast culture is the fact that they use stone to build their buildings, and it's not like the flagstone structures of some of the cultures located around. These are ornate, carved, fitted. They're works of art. And he's fascinated by that stuff because to tame stone is always something he's wanted to do, but it's not really in the culture. But throughout the events that occurred in the last episode, with talking through some of the NPCs as well as the players, including a very a spat would probably be too undertoned, but it wasn't an all-out fight. But Lumbast and Bjork's curiosity over Lumbast kind of came to a head. But I guess Bjork did a lot of reflecting, and he realizes that the only reason why he really wants to go to Lumbast's homeland is to give Lumbast back, because Lumbast was taken from his home. And Bjork's never been keen on slavery. He hates the caste system that his current culture subsides. And in the last episode, he really started to question his faith. Because although he appreciated the fact that the Horn came to their aid with the dragon, he hasn't seen the gods getting involved and helping. If their whole goal is to prevent Ragnarok, why are they not helping this village when there's someone who's using curses on Jarls and stuff like that to kind of perpetuate that chaos? But he's starting to realize more and more that before he can ever hope to go on a Viking, it looks like the thing that needs to be done is to go after who's responsible. They're probably not coming here. He does want to wait till spring because people aren't going to raid during the winter. That's kind of silly. But if they don't come and attack like everybody's been preparing for, then we need to take the offensive to them before they start hitting other islands with the same kind of indiscriminate killing that has occurred. And the amount of slavery, I mean, we found Lumbast years ago as a slave. And then, of course, Reese was actually enslaved to the people who performed the raid, and we found him escaping them. So it's clear that they're not just raiding, they're taking our people, and he wants to put an end to that.
True. Well done. You had a little bit of dealings with a feminine individual, and one tried to converse with Lambast and was harshly turned away.
I almost got to see her gods, but then my heart of hearts, when you asked me last episode, where, who do you want to talk to right now? What's in your heart of hearts? And I'm like, God, it's got to be the guy on the boat. Like, that's something that's always been haunting Bjork. And he found out that it was Heimdall, although the vision was broken and abstract, and he finally got to have some words with Heimdall, and it turns out that not all the gods are on board with Odin's plans, but they have to obey. And I think Bjork's still on that twinge of why do we have to obey when nothing's getting accomplished?
That is a good question. Why do they have to? There's obviously something there, something going on. And you are right. But what that is unknown. However, as the winter grows less harsh, temperatures start to warm. It's time. It's time to bend the bows, to fashion the ship, to finish it. You spent the winter prepping materials, getting things ready, getting, the boards made so you can put them on when the time comes. Knowing that you do need the warmer weather for the flexibility. But the materials are prepped, and the weather's drawing closer. Let's quickly check in with all of the characters. What are they doing currently as the weather is starting to get less frigid?
Since I did the recap, I'll go ahead and let the others give their starting positions before mine.
Lambast, Farker. Farker, have you been staying in the longhouse, or did you rebuild your home, or what?
Farker's been staying in the longhouse. He's kind of just almost not gone near his house at all. His old house, at least.
if I remember right, last time Lamb was inside of Bjork's home, childhood home, and Bjork had just come back, right? We're going to be heading
yeah,
to-
Yeah.
that's. You were sitting
You're right.
outside my house on a stump, and we never got to resolve that, did we?
Well,
your parents invited me in.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, Bjork and Lambast never got to resolve that.
I forgot about
Ooh,
that.
that would be a fun place to start.
We can start there. Because that is an important place to conclude that.
We could even tie it into the advancement of winter too. I can do that if you'd like.
Go for it. So yeah, we ended with you with Bjork moving in and Lambast being there, seeing him come in the door in the morning.
Yeah, I think I'll take it back a couple paces though.
Sure.
As Bjork is returning to the house, he hears a noise, and his ears twinge, and he's looking around at the frozen scenery about him. Bleak palette of grays streak across the sky. The ground, although the grass green, covered in a frost for weeks, but he hears a pat, and he can't get it out of his head, but for some reason it's a noise that is different than what he's been hearing. He shakes his head and then goes inside the door, filled with, he's not happy, but he is filled with renewed purpose. He opens the door without looking around, taking his cloak off onto a peg and shutting it. Sorry, I was out and looks up and takes account of who's in the room.
You see Lambast leaning against the wall, just waking up from your entry. No one else there. You do have a female individual following in behind you.
Lambast, I owe you an apology. Although I do not take back anything I said, my own frustrations of sitting idly in the winter kept thoughts that should normally be inside my head and put them in my mouth.
John just kind of, Lamb just kind of like stops leaning and kind of like, brushes off like whatever wetness is on him or whatever. Kind of tilts his head at Bjork.
I have been very pushy lately. I'm sure you all know that I've been dealing with a lot, one of which being the fact that Jotnar and Mute never came home. And with the winter as bad as it is, I fear the worst. Mute couldn't communicate with many people. Praf, Jotnar, and I were the only people who knew the language to speak with him. And Praf is gone. I'm the only one, and Mute has not come home. And I think about all of the opportunities we missed because of how oppressive our society is. And he's trying to say it so that because Lambast is the only one in the room, he doesn't want to say it so loud that his parents come in. Because for everything that his adopted father has done for him, his adopted father has always clinged to the traditions pretty tightly. And Bjork feels himself swaying away from that. Accented by the fact that he's running his thumb over the horn that he tried so desperately to destroy. I should have seen that you did not wish to continue with the discussion in the direction it was going. And I kept on pushing you. do not blame you for your outburst. I blame myself.
What were you pushing me to?
I don't know the term for it. You know, Bjork pauses as he's trying to think of a term equivalent in this era to gaslighting. He swallows hard and continues. But the things that I was bringing up, my intolerance of slavery, my disappointment in the caste system, the comments I made about how people born of a certain caste are expected to die a certain way, otherwise they are denied from heaven's doors. I put a lot of my own concerns with my society in its death throes, but positioned you as the topic and made you answer a lot of personal questions that and he kind of looks back at his female companion, that I probably shouldn't have.
Bjork. My issue was not with the questions that you asked. It was with how you were choosing to change them. I got mad, outbursted, whatever you call it, because you were crying and whining about stuff without presenting solutions and ways you wish to change it. You were crying about problems without looking for a solution. You cannot split wood by just yelling at it. You need an axe. You need to be that axe. Make the changes you wish to be, because it will not change just by crying and yelling about it. That was my point, and I hope you understand that. I don't mind you asking questions. That's good. But try to help yourself find a solution. You don't like the caste system? Try to change it. That position that you were offered as a Jarl could have helped with that, but you chose not to take it, and that's not bad. Find another path. Always look for another route. Never stop and cry and hope others will change it for you. That was my point.
Lambast's words fall hard on Bjork as he looks down thinking, I understand. I suppose I was guilty of the very same sin that infuriated me that others before me had succumbed to. That they knew all along that the Jarl was harmful to us and did nothing to stop it. Thank you for being honest with me.
Of course. Now I'm hungry. I'm gonna go get something to eat.
Before you
Have a
go, I
good
want
day.
you to know that I'm still planning on going to your homeland, mostly out of curiosity to learn, but I have an idea. We've been on the defensive all winter. When winter ends, they will either attack or they will not attack. And if they don't attack, and Bjork brings his fierce eyes to lock with Lambast's, I think we need to go hunting.
I see.
You are, of course, not obligated to go, but I could not think of a better shield brother than you.
That's very kind. I wouldn't mind going. Before I leave, real quick, Bjorsk, I hope whatever you're thinking you're going to find in my land is what you want to find. But I'm also going to be here to tell you that our system of who is who is not very much different.
Do you believe in slavery over there?
We enslave people in a very much different way than you. Our slavery is to the iron and less about the chains.
Do you have people in your culture that live a peaceful life?
Yeah. Unfortunately, nothing's stopping them from being murdered by somebody higher than them and not being really punished for it.
And I understand that. It's not the evils of man that truly bother me. I understand that trying to live a peaceful life does not mean that war won't find you, but
This isn't
We-
war. This is a man above you, has the ability to murder you, and almost always get away with it.
my
No
people,
different than your Jarl killing the fisherman.
and I can see that. But here, it's the afterlife that I'm going to war with, not the structure of my society, except for slavery. I do not find it just to believe in gods that the only way to get their good graces and be offered an afterlife of joy and peace is to die in battle. If you die of disease, if you die of old age, it is a shame. Why? Why can't we die of old age? Why can't we progress our society and make it better? We're not even given the chance because all of us are casting ourselves to the spear at a young age. Because if you die with a sword in your hand, that's how you get to heaven. Mortal life is so short, it's full of pain, it's full of misery. That's why we believe in an afterlife. It gives us hope of something greater in the end. I just can't believe... Well, I'm struggling to. He thinks of his meeting with Heimdall. I'm struggling to believe in a system of gods where you sacrifice yourself for things that you may not even be passionate about in order to find eternal peace. I don't know. Anyway, you mentioned you were going to get something to eat. I won't stop you.
I've been stashing some rations away every time I had a meal. You want to share some?
I'd like that. Ragna, why don't you get some rest and I'll catch up with you?
Oh, the lady's invited too. She doesn't mind a little bit of, mold.
Or you can come along if you like some mold.
I don't tend to eat mold, but I wouldn't mind spending time with the two of you.
Alright, well then you can come along. Bjark smiles for the first time in a few days and opens the door, and he hears it again. Pat, 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 pat. And you see Bjark stepping through the doorway, almost like, what is that? And he looks to his left, and he sees the frost that is developing along the wooden beams of his adopted parents' small house. The water is dripping outside the interior of the log and landing on the ground. Spring comes. It's time to finish the boat.
Lamb kind of walks past him, walking towards the Jarl's longhouse. Coming this way. My room's in the longhouse for some reason.
Bjork shuts the door behind him. Shall we, Ragna?
Certainly. And she goes with you. You guys get there, have your food, and winter comes to an end as you work on the boat. Let's have you do another craft check to see how well you get this part of the boat. Your lone ship put together. See if you can make it Minecraft or if it's going to be bearable.
Question. When they were going to the Longhouse, wouldn't they have also seen the Fogger's char outhouse?
Mm-hmm. If they look the other direction, but yeah.
I'm gonna spend an inspiration.
Okay.
That 3 was some bullshit. There we go. I got a 20.
That's better. So you actually fairly good craftsmanship. The day that you go to the Longhouse and you nibble on the reserves from Lambast, you come back out later that day and get working on your longship. And on the way there, you do see Varger's home burnt.
Who did this? Are any of the cats nearby?
They're throughout the town.
Okay. I turn on my heel and I march back to the longhouse.
Where's Varger
Varger.
in the Longhouse? Is he just sleeping, or?
I'd say that Varger is probably... Yeah, he's sleeping. He's trying to sleep away everything.
When Bjork sees that Varger is sleeping, he quietly kneels down beside the cot. And if you'd like, I could roll a stealth check. I don't know if Varger's pretty adept at hearing. He might hear me anyway, but that's up to Varger.
I am completely on board for letting North Dice decide this.
I pull up my beard and I tickle his nose. And Bjork kind of quietly clears his throat and goes, Varger. Varger. Wake up, handsome.
Varger, you get this tickling sensation and hear this voice.
He will roll over in the direction of Yorick and just slowly open his eyes and be like, not today, not today. I can only have so many at once.
Varger. It's me, Bjork.
Oh. Hi, Bjork.
I owe you an apology, friend.
Varger's eyes are like half open and just like half awake. I think you owe me an apology.
Yes, and he literally remembers the exact thing he told Lambast. I let things that were burning away in my mind slip in my mouth where it did not belong. There was no reason for me to criticize in the accusational way that I did to insinuate that you are part of the same schisms that frustrate me, or that you had anything to do with it.
Okay. Things between then and now are different, I guess.
Bjork is gonna grab Varger's hand and look at his fingernails and see if he sees any soot or signs of combustibles, like a burned fingernail or ash under the fingernail, or maybe tree sap to make something that would light a building on fire.
Roll an investigation. We'll see how well you find. Is that a D12 or a D20?
I'm hoping that's a D20.
I think
That
it's
is
a D12.
You son of a... Hi guys, my name's Jericho.
D12 is for D20.
You should check out my Dungeons and Dragons streams where I roll the math rock. Let me check my investigation, because that was actually one of the things I'm fairly talented at. Or either that, or it was just the thing that everybody made me do. I am. That would be an 18.
Yeah, you see a little bit on there from recent flammable activities.
Varger, I'm going to ask you a question. Did you burn your house, or did you try to put it out?
Varger will have this big grin come across his face, and he'll say, Bjork, I didn't burn my house down. I finally got to meet my father.
Bjork, who's not very, he's intelligent, but he's not very wise. You met your father? Then who burned your house down?
He inspired me to cast off all of my past, my connections to my what's just the womb in which I came from, just to accept and to enjoy the flames and the laughter.
Were any of the cats in the house?
I shoot them out before it could happen. They did not belong there anymore.
Well, surely they belong with some sort of shelter. You did take care of them.
They were symbols of a past that didn't need to be anymore.
Do you think anything that I mentioned at the dinner yesterday was valid?
I think I was afraid to be the person that I feared the most. And I feared my father more than I feared anything. And once I saw him and realized that I shouldn't be afraid of him, and instead I should embrace him, the gods are divisive, they are unfair, they are not equal. They should be equal.
Farger, do you agree with slavery?
Slavery?
Yeah.
I have never seen a purpose to have one man own another, or to work for another when he shouldn't.
Bjork sits on the bed, tiring from squatting down, and he just kind of sits next to Varger's legs. Varger, I think, the more I think about it, then my beef with the gods is that we're slaves. And the only way that we will be treated with any respect or dignity is to walk into a slaughter hut. You know, where they take the pigs and the sheep to make them meat. The only way that we can be free of our chains is to die. And I think yesterday I realized that maybe the reason why I have a problem with it is because, although I'm good with this, he motions to his spear, I am a slave to it. Varger, I'm an artist. I want to paint men and women naked in a field. I want to build structures that embrace nature's beauty, but also human ingenuity. It's about using what's around us and making something new and beautiful out of it. And I feel like every time I pick up my brush or my hammer, my hand is slapped, and this godforsaken spear is put in it. And And I'm told, no, you are for the slaughter. And, well, I'll keep it brief, but you know how Lambast got upset and walked out. He brought up something very terrible to me, to my attention. The very position that I gave up to avoid being a slave to the machine is the very position that I could have had to undo everything and paint with my brush. And I think this melancholy that I've been in the last week is a reflection of the opportunity I gave up, in search for something I wanted, not realizing that that was the right path. It's the death throes of a man who knew he took the wrong path. Does that make sense?
I understand you more than you think I do.
That's my point. So I have a new path. And although it might be the right path for me, I will not make you be part of it. I saw how upset you got yesterday, and maybe I hit on some truths that you too were struggling with. Revolution is not quiet, it's violent. But I want you to know that you are not a slave to my friendship. And whether you agree to follow me on this path, to guide me on this path even, or you and Lambast agree to stay behind while I go off alone, there is no loss of valor or honor in that, and you will always be a brother. And that is exactly what I should have told Lambast. But the reason why it sounded so good talking to you is I had time to think about it after our... Anyway, it's the truth, Vog.
Thorger's kind of just silent for a few minutes. Bjork, I've always seen you as a a very intelligent individual. You kind of question everything, and that is super important. Very important. I keep saying super, I don't understand. Very important. And Vern will sit up in it where he's laying. But I do need you to understand one thing. You are, and I am not, I've never thought that I am a slave or required to be around you. You are, from the moment I met you, a friend. And friends are not slaves to friends. Friends are friends. Now, you want to go out, and you want to have this, and you want to this plan, this mission of yours, and you are upset that you did not want to, you could not become the thing you wanted to be, that you could have done more. I say that chaos, if I am true, and I believe what I believe, and Chaos is my father, then I must trust in him, and trust that the things that I have no control over will come to pass, and I will be fine. So, you did not become the Jarl, and you did not get to paint beautiful women. But things will turn out in the way that eventually the things you want will happen. Just not in the way you want.
I agree. And that's why my path, he pulls his spear off, requires the one thing I've resented this entire time. Varga, we're going after them. We're not going to sit here and wait in a defensive measure. Lambast's men charged a dragon. I hate to say it, but the gods sent us a sign.
Yes, they set us all aside.
You eat up. It's time to start walking down the path. I stand from the cot. Lavast. And I'm in the main room now. I forgot to say that. Fail RP.
Yeah.
If you'd like to accompany me, I'm gonna go make a discussion with the Jarl in preparations to finish the boat.
Nice.
It might have to do with your people, because
okay.
they are your people now. I don't know if you've seen the way they look at you, but you may have been training them, but they consider you a brother.
Okay.
He stands, and I assume the Jarl's not in the Longhouse, right? Because it seems like he's been taking more interest into his art.
He never wanted to be the Jarl. He always just
Yeah.
wanted to be a craftsman. So, yeah, every chance he gets, he slides back to his home and spends time there.
I'm gonna take my cloak off the rung, sling it on, and then head towards the forge. And before I step out, I look towards Vargar. We're going to the forge. You want to come with us?
Sure.
I already looked for Reese a little bit. Word is he's hunting, and I don't want to interrupt his time. Besides, as much as it shames me to admit it, I know he'll follow me no matter what. And Bjork heads towards the forge with Lambast and Vargar in tow, and I would love, the way I envision it, I don't know how you guys envision it, but if you've ever seen Peaky Blinders, they do a really good job with these camera angles. I love the idea of the camera angle down the main stretch of road in the town, and then the three of us in a line coming around the corner from leaving the longhouse, walking down the road as the camera watches us, just one line. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but
I don't mind it.
Yeah. So, watch as you...
I'm just heading straight to the porch with the two of them.
The camera watches as you guys pass the lovely drip, drip, drip noise, following you as you go.
Y'all, I kind of call to the forge, trying to listen to see if he's working, because I don't want to interrupt that.
You say Jarl, and all you hear is a groan.
May we come in? We have moldy rations. He grins.
What do you need? He kicks the door open.
You've been in your blacksmith a lot, Jarl.
Of course.
The crafting calls to you, doesn't it?
He looks at you inquisitively. What do you want? What's going on?
He steps inside with the other two. Jarl, I've been resenting the spear because it prevents me from seeking my personal interests in art. I am not a master by any means. I still have much to learn. And detailed by Lambas telling me of his homeland and all the amazing things that they've accomplished. But you are a master of your art. You've made the journey, and you deserve to retire in your art, to live the rest of your days doing what you like to do. Don't make me challenge you to a duel, but I think your time as Jarl is done, and I will take it from here.
And why is that, Bjork? You want to leave. You can't leave and rule.
I do not want to leave. I want to accomplish what I would like to for this town, and then bestow Jarl on the one who proves themselves most honorable. The gods will show me who should lead.
And how will they
However,
do that?
Who is it for us to question the gods? He smiles.
Looks around his forge. Me?
All right. I've been learning more and more that the gods don't really care about us. That they have a plan and they tend to reveal themselves when they'd like to. I cannot tell you when the sign will happen. All I can tell you is that I saw visions of Heimdall on a boat, and from my perspective, I'm in that boat. The protector of Asgard. But why would he leave being a protector? Because in order to protect this settlement, we cannot sit here like sheep waiting for the slaughter hut. I'm going after him. And in order to do that, I need men. I need materials, emotions to the forge. I need you to get back to work. And in order to build my boat, I have a lot of legislative tasks that I need done. I need the woolers to shear the sheep, their winter coats. I need that made into sails. I need wood finished. I need the manpower to do it. And I know you would give me everything that I would need. But I can't have you in the forge making what is necessary without somebody watching around what's going on. The artistic design of my boat is completed. Now it's just framing, putting the planks on, treating the planks, and I can do that from a supervisor position. Lambas to show me that much. I was a fool not to take the God's message and seize the Jarl title as I was evidently offered. And by preventing you from seeking out your craft, I made you a slave to the title.
Oh, but that is where you're only half right. If I'm a slave to the title, what am I doing here?
Avoiding your duties.
I do agree with him slightly. I know that you've been crafting a lot the past few days, but I've begun to notice things in my dormancy while I cannot craft. The snow is melting.
Mm-hmm.
It's time. Either they will have time to prepare and come to us at force, or we, looks at Lambast, who have been preparing all winter, take them flat-footed. We do not have the stone structures that Lambast tells me about from his homeland. We do not have to worry about defeating a large defensive structure. We have to worry about the men being ready and well stocked. We can get the jump on that.
Give me just 1 minute. I need to take care of something I heard here. It'll only take me like 30 seconds, and I'll be right back. But you guys can continue RPing amongst yourselves. The Jarl steps into the other room a minute. He's like, give me a moment. And leaves the three of you there to chat while he does something. Finds something.
Bjork says nothing else. He just kind of exhales, like he was actually freaking nervous throughout that entire endeavor. Well, now you see the path I've chosen. And he looks to Lombast and Vargar.
It's a very nice path.
Thank you, friend. You helped me find it. As did you, Vargar, with your burned down home.
He burned down his home to find it?
He burnt down his home.
Oh, my apologies. I thought you said you burnt his home down to find it.
No, but if I knew it would brought him so much joy, I would have done it a while ago. Do you think your people are ready for an offensive?
My people?
Mm-hmm.
Who's my people?
Like I said, Lombast, the people you trained. They're... Oh, no, I understand now. Oh my goodness, that sounded like I'm not invading your people. I don't even know where your people are. Oh, Lord. What I'm suggesting is that your people that you've been training, would they be ready for an offensive?
Probably.
Because I cannot stop thinking about how they charged a dragon.
You hear clatter from the other room. And then
Everything all right, y'all?
And then coming back in, you see the Jarl with a large assortment of weapons. It's like, Lambast, these are for your people, for the task that Bjork is saying should be accomplished. What else do you need?
Bjork kind of looks at it. Are they like CXs and like are they actual swords?
There's some swords. There's a lot of the standard axes and spears and Dane axes and, you know, a large variation of weapons based on what they would want.
And it doesn't look like there's enough for all of Lombast's men.
It looks like they're all new, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah, that should be fine.
The armor should be getting here within the week.
Shields?
That is part of the armors, yes. I could not do it all myself. And as for your other statements, Bjork, the sales are on their way. The woodworkers will be here this week.
And the other statement?
Your statement that you need additional work and you need to have these things done. They've
That
already
was
been
one more.
arranged.
You need to hand over your all ship.
Yes and no.
Then a duel.
I would not wish to kill you.
That may be what it takes. What do you mean yes and no?
Lambast, come here.
Sure. Walks over.
Look at this. He hands you a hammer.
Yes. It's a hammer.
No, it's not. It is a hammer. This is one of the forge hammers that you know.
I know it's a forge hammer. What are you getting at, Jarl?
Where from?
Lamb looks at it. Kind of turns it over, inspecting the metal. Lifts the hammer and then dead falls it, so the hammer hits the anvil. Can you describe how it rings?
It is it almost sounds like a gong, like it resounds very metallic, very loud ring.
Is it a high-pitched, low-pitch? Does the hammer bounce off the anvil multiple times before finally settling to a
It's quite hardened.
It's on a quick stop. It's like it is reverberating off the anvil itself. Is what I'm asking.
You see it kind of vibrating on it with the hit.
Where did you get the steel?
I think you know the answer to that.
How many of my people have you brought here?
The other way around.
Are you not from here?
Oh, I am. I returned.
What's this have to do with the Jarl? Ship, whatever.
You need someone here who will make sure things are maintained. You have tasks set before you for you to do.
Your
I've never fully been
village
Jarl.
does not concern me.
No. But Bjork needs your understanding of what you just found out.
It's a Jarl's privilege to spare those who challenge him, if I remember right.
Why would I need spared?
Lamb looks at you, Boric, and goes, "Trust me. Let him answer the question."
If it is possible to do so, yes. He starts unwrapping his hands, and they're like coated in metal. It's like slowly creeping up his arm.
Boric challenge you for the Jarlship. If he fails, do not kill him. Banish him. He wishes to leave this island. Give him the credit of doing both. He wins the Jarlship, he gets to do his plans. He fails, he still gets to leave, but in shame.
I don't want him to leave in shame.
He wishes to challenge you no matter what, sir. And that, I cannot change.
He doesn't understand what he's asking. That is
He
what I'm
fully
asking
knows
you
well
to
what
help.
he's asking. He wouldn't have asked it.
Someone explain to me what is going on?
Beric, he's been to my lands that you want to go so far to, but you are challenging the Jarl, and I don't think that will change your outcome.
Immediately, Bjork fills with rage, and his hands tighten on the spear. You knew this whole time, and you sent me on a wild goose chase for scriptures and documentation, and he's pointing accusingly at the Jarl.
I sent you on no such.
When I came to you, I told you my goal was to find his location, his land.
I don't know it. I was there.
Bjork kind of relaxes, understanding the insinuation now. Who brought you here?
This is where I grew up with my brother. I went on my Viking when I was younger. Get blown off course to a strange land. We lost all of our instruments, all of our maps. I found new meaning. I found new craft. And eventually, I was able to find my way home to my brother and try to change his mind about the way of the world.
Like the epiphany I've been having.
Why do you think I wish to equip you?
Then you would understand. If I interrupt you for but a moment and then accentuate how important it is that you give up the Jarlship. This town needs a win. If the Jarl leads the attack against those that attacked us and comes back victorious, he can assign a new Jarl.
Yorick, when would
If you
the ceremony
stay
for a
Jarl.
Jarl?
He's quiet.
Thinking back, you remember that there's been no such ceremony.
Yeah. I hate to tell you this, but we have not had a Jarl in some time who has accomplished this. So you're right. When I think back, I can think of no such ceremony. However, divvying up titles as they please, well, our gods do that. They don't always have to fight either. Now, I'm not suggesting you're giving the title away and that this town will be unprotected, much like any time a Jarl goes on Viking, someone is left in charge to man the estate. If the Jarl falls in battle, that person becomes the Jarl, which would effectively still be you. But if I am successful, I can give the Jarlship away once we change the way things work around here.
Yorick, there has been no Jarl appointed.
Then why have we been addressing you as Jarl this entire time?
Out of habit. I never asked for it.
Isn't it inherited?
Not if there's no ceremony to convey it.
Then give me the ceremony.
I can.
What must I do?
I don't serve Odin. I can't do that.
I need to see Hraf, or rather, the men who instructed him. Vargr, you remember that spire that we climbed?
Yes.
You know,
Care to make the trip?
you really don't have to.
Then what must I do?
Ignore it. Do what you feel you must do, which is to go and hunt these filth down.
That is still on the table. What must I do to become Jarl now?
Why must you be Jarl?
I think it's very important that the Jarl of this town deals the blow of justice that this town, this island, deserves. It is a symbol of faith, something that could potentially unite all of the islands.
But what if it wasn't a Jarl, but a champion of the island?
It has to be a Jarl. We have a reputation in this city of a Jarl who sits on his thumbs and does nothing. This city needs to be purged of that.
Which is precisely why I ask why we need a Jarl versus a leader. A leader and a Jarl don't have to be the same.
Because unfortunately, if you actually consider the economy, and he's immediately thinking about what his adopted father has taught him, there needs to be someone in charge to manage the estate. And I will not be called king. I will not be called hero, because that means that no one else in the town is a hero or a champion, and that's wrong. I will not be called king. I will not be called master. But I will be a Jarl. The one in charge of a Jarldom. That's it.
Well, if that's what you wish, you can do what you see fit.
You just told me I need to find someone to serve Odin. And then told me I didn't have to do that.
I'm saying
Which
that,
is it, man?
I'm saying the course of action you're thinking you have to take is not one that you have to take.
It isn't one that I have to take, it's one that I want to take. I should have taken that position when I was offered. And I know it's too late. But the sagas are full of a lot of stories of people who stood up when they thought it was too late and did whatever they had to do.
Something you'd be familiar with, Lambast. What he showed you under his wrapped hands is actually a sign of his level of devotion in the craft that is seen on your island.
Doesn't really affect the current predicament, though. Just means that he'd be a badass person to beat.
It also means that technically he's following someone other than is followed here.
Yeah.
So, in order to become Jarl, he could have someone have a follower of Odin plus him, or that someone could challenge him in a duel, or that the Jarl could step down.
There's been no ceremony for a Jarl.
Oh.
Yeah, but the majority of people still throughout the village think of him as a Jarl. It's not uncommon for the culture back then to ignore such pleasantries in serious situations, which was pretty serious.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't need the ritual to become a Jarl. He already is designated as a Jarl by the local people, and that's the problem here.
Also, those of us who were present in the Longhouse saw your brother assign the task to you, and Jarls can assign the title of Jarl to other men who prove themselves worthy. Now, whereas there may not have been a ceremony, your brother's own damn words put you in charge and you were infuriated by it.
Because he thinks his words have any sway.
But just because you don't want to believe in something does not mean that everyone around you does not have the assumption. If I went into the Longhouse right now and said I'm in charge, what would the reaction be?
Probably puzzlement.
So all I'm asking, since clearly you don't want to be the Jarl, is that you go in there and do exactly to me what your brother did to you.
If it means that much to you. I don't think a Jarldom's needed, though. I think we can all just work and do what needs to be done.
That step will come, but it cannot come overnight.
Okay. Well, did you want to get the equipment Passed out to those who need it? Or what's your plan on that?
First the Earldom, then the equipment.
Okay.
And Bjork's kind of taken aback by that. He thought that he was going to continue to get the, oh, but shouldn't you do this other thing? Okay. And Lambas, did he make Mjolnir? Could you explain this hammer to me?
The hammer is of metal from my land, not from here. He knows our traits, our skills.
Which means he doesn't follow Odin.
Not true. Just because he was taught does not mean he gave up his faith.
No, but the fact that his hands are changing do.
I'm not acknowledging that to Bjork.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not gonna.
Because
I just
the
want
reason why, because of Bjork's whole identity issue right now.
No,
How do
it's
I
cool.
do it? Yeah, exactly. I see that.
I was just making sure that it was clear to people
Yeah.
viewing and stuff that was the case.
Oh, okay, my bad.
So good. So good.
Blind's like, I don't know how this happens, but I need to talk to this guy alone for a minute because I have questions about my land.
I understand. How about as soon as he passes the Earldom over to me publicly, I demand it. Is that fair?
Lumbast, how do priests from your homeland respond to demands?
Not pleasantly, and not very diplomatically.
That
I
comes
guess,
that comes to your mind with what Jarl says.
Was it? Yeah. Anakin said it well. Aggressive negotiations.
Yeah, and Bjork's inflection of tone in the laugh that followed was more of a jest about that, not necessarily an actual suggestion.
Trying to make sure we keep viewers appraised of things that they may have missed. But yeah, good on all fronts there.
It was basically a joke.
So you guys head up to the Longhouse. Is that where you're headed?
Yeah. And every Huskarl we see, that the ones that stayed or the ones that we quote unquote promoted to Huskarl, I don't know if my adopted father would be one of the influential men in town that would have gotten that position. But if I see them on the road or anybody who has any influence, I'm going to ask them to come into the Longhouse. And while I'm doing that, I look to Lambast. Do you want to go grab your sergeants? I think they should be part of this.
What's odd is that nice line you talked about leaving, going back to the Longhouse. But you don't see any of those people in the street, and you'd think you at least would see one or two of them.
Yeah, so maybe when I ask him to go rally up the sergeants, I look a little more nervous than normal.
No. They don't need to worry about it.
Fair enough. And Bjork goes inside.
As you go inside, those you were seeking are already there.
Bjork.
They have a table there.
Yes, lamb.
Be strong.
Yeah, and there's you hear an audible gulp. I will. And he steps forward.
You notice they have some documents on the table. Documents of detailing required provisions for different lengths of trips. Basically, how to start calculating how much supplies you need. There's a list of documents based on maps of the area and info they have gathered on potential locations of different targets. Mainly the one that you have in mind. They all look up. Welcome, Bjork.
Yeah. He nods to him. I meant, yeah, is it? Yes, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And his eyes dance around the map, fascinated. He loves maps.
They gesture to it. Or you like, isn't this what you're wanting?
Yes, yes. See here, these are the trade winds. Yes. The sails weaken. And he starts muttering to himself like a madman.
They're all standing around waiting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So what is the plan?
I believe... Go ahead.
What is the plan? We're here waiting.
We have something to discuss first. There was never a proper ceremony for the Jarl.
Correct?
I was offered the position and I turned it down.
We were told that you kind of were still going to be or are somewhat. I'm not quite sure how that's supposed to work.
Well, I'm telling you now that I'm stepping up. My apprehension, my fear, I was afraid of losing my identity, and that's not going to be the case. I know what we need to do now. And I point to the position that in the past all winter long, I've been thinking about the boats. And as a boat maker, I'm like, where am I going to go? Where could this attack come from? You know, part of the defensive planning. Can I make an investigation check to consider all the odds of where the best place to strike them might be?
Yeah, you're not
Like,
sure
what
which of the island necessarily, which island is theirs. So that would be the first thing you would need to find.
I need witnesses from the raid. We need to go around and start asking them questions about the color of the boats, what they looked like, what they sounded like. When you're hiding in fear, you become extra aware of the senses around you. I need to know more about the boats that hit that day. The color of their sails, was the material shiny, all of it.
One of the
That'll be
people
the first step.
picks up a list of papers. Here you are.
And I'm going to look through it, and the one thing I want to look for is the color of the wood.
Mm-hmm.
That will tell me what type of tree it is, which will narrow down where it's from. The shape of the boat, which can change depending on the hardness of the wood, the pliability of it, again, tells me where they're from. And the material of the cloth tells me what animals were present. If it's shinier, it's most likely goat. If it's got more of a matte finish, it's likely to be sheep. And the colors of the dyes will give me a good idea on which trade route they had excess of these colors in order to procure that, because that's how the colors of these nations are chosen, is what's available. You know, the Scots put woad on their face. Had it been any other berry, it would have been a different color.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to try to use all of that to pinpoint, you know, how many sails was it? If it's a one-sailed boat, they weren't planning on going very far. If it was a two-sail boat, it means that they were traveling across some torrential seas. And again, I can consult the trade routes to determine where that is.
Mm-hmm. Roll a investigation.
It didn't even go in the dice tower. I'll spend my last inspiration for that. Like, yay! How'd that happen? Let me try to get the camera closer, sorry.
It's all good. That's part of why we're considering different software, man.
Ooh, I'll take it. That is a 23.
So, you're able to find that they're close to an island that someone else here is from. But there's no record of the island that they're actually from. But what you get is enough information to know that it's within the vicinity of this other island.
Vargo, the colors your people wore in your homeland, do you remember it?
Yes.
Like, here we have a lot of earth tones and greens because of the flowers that we can grind for the dye. Our colors are very dependent on where we're from. And I slide the description of the sails to him. These colors... Do these colors match what your people wore?
Now there's two things to help Fargo out. Your island that your father was from, their color of clothing was mostly called hide.
Yeah.
It was
so
very
it was
much
more leather.
it was very much hunting. The black dye they used to mark their sails with the wolf comes from a neighboring island that actually produces and that island is the one that Jarl was able to, or that Bjork was able to locate on the maps.
So Vargo would know where the black comes from.
Yeah. And what you've been able to piece together actually is that that island is also the one that your mother was born on.
All right. Black dye would have come from what? It would have come from not peat, but it would have charcoal or
what was it called? I believe there's a nut that was usually used to do it. Because technically charcoal can, but it doesn't dye the cloth as much.
But I know that they use that.
Yeah.
And then so Vargo will basically say like my homeland we used the leather, but the other island nearby used that black. And I guess I come up with the other color. The other color is it's like a I would know it is as a purple, like a blue purple. But I would only know Vargo would only know it as called wine color. But it's like a deep sky blue.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that the other island made it out of snails. We found so they have special sea life that live on the ocean shores that they crush and the shells turn it into the blue color. So the blue and black you'd be familiar with.
So you agree that this is likely the island? I've noticing a lot of stuff that, and I point to Vargo's island without knowing it's his island. A lot of the materials of this boat indicate that trade could come from here on the trade winds.
Is the other island on the map?
And I'm talking about the one that he grew up on, not his father's island, unless they are the same.
Well, the island he's talking about is one his mother grew up on.
Yeah, that.
Which is not the one he grew up on. The one he grew up on is the one you're trying to get to, and that is not on the maps that you have. But the one his mother
Got
grew
it.
up on is the one where was the
That's
source.
the one I'm pointing at.
Yeah.
And yeah, you could go there, or you could go. I don't know. It doesn't seem like the kind of people that would do these things.
I had a terrible idea. I looked at everybody at the table, and then I looked at Lambast. When I want to make black paint, I use woad, currant, and a yellow berry found in the mountains. You stain the object or paint the object, or if you're making paint to color it, you first make it as dark blue as you can. Then you add a little bit of red and a little bit of yellow. Let it saturate it. And that can create a black. Although it's not permanent, after a couple seasons it tends to wear off. But what if we, and I looked at everybody at the table, what if we were to dye our boat black and sail to this place?
I mean, based on what Yorick said, or Vargar said, wouldn't if we went to the island we know of, black, they would think we were the raiders.
Exactly.
So we want them to think that we are raiding them? Instead of finding the people that raided them?
If we go there with black colors, we can judge their response. If their response is apprehensive, but they still wish to speak to us, that means that the Raiders' Island must be close to this one. It means that they have some negotiations set. If not, we have our sails that we can unfurl, which have our colors on them. So we coast up the river with the sails up in a black ship. And as we approach, we drop our sails to show our true colors. If it looks like they're getting ready to defend and act violently. If we see nobility waiting on docks when we arrive, then we know that they've had dealing with the raiders. Maybe against their will.
I will point out, you do know someone who is recently from that island.
Is it Reese?
And...
Oh, Ragna. No, Ragna's from somewhere else, right?
Yes, she's from somewhere else.
No, I don't. It doesn't ring a bell.
The lady that he took.
Vargar's lady.
Yeah.
The moment that dawns on me. Where's Asleaf?
They point. She's over, probably eating and getting stuff ready, doing duties.
Will you gentlemen continue here?
They nod.
Vargar, would you like to come with me? Or even Lambast to go speak with Asleaf?
Of course.
Stay here and wait for you guys to return.
Understood.
Okay, so you head over and talk to her.
Is this seat taken, Asleaf?
Only by you, it appears.
I take a seat. I motion for Vargar to sit.
He sits.
What do you know about the people who took you from your land?
What do you want to know?
Did your people have any negotiations with them? Trade, diplomacy, anything?
You talking about the one who took me from my island, or the ones that raid our island that he was supposed to protect us from?
The one that took you from the island.
Vigo?
Yes.
What about Vigo?
Did he and his cadre, and I'm not talking about the Huskarls, I know he has men loyal to him.
That was
Did they have...
who he was with at the time. They were supposed to go to the island of the raiders, as you call them, I believe. The Wolf Raiders, and deal with them for us. He stayed behind as the rear guard, while the others went.
If I showed you a map, could you show me where that island would be?
I can show you where my island is. I do not know theirs. However, there's people back on my homeland that know.
People that know you?
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to go
If they're
home?
still alive, I'd love to go home.
Then let's go. You're free. When I build my boat, we will go to your homeland, and you're free. No obligations, no strings attached.
And what about Vigo? You said you thought he was coming here?
He is coming here, but only a keen survivor knows that winter is actually coming to an end. The logs are seeping moisture. That means they're warming up. That's the first sign. There's still frost on the ground. It's still cold as hell. It's not safe to sail a large fleet. But if we wait until the frost dissipates, their men will begin to train and get ready. Right now, they're getting fat over their success. They haven't had to worry about food like we have. Meanwhile, we've been training to prepare for the defense of an imminent attack. And a few days ago, I witnessed all of our best trained soldiers charge a dragon with no fear in their heart and kill it.
I heard about that. That was impressive.
These men and women are incredible people. And although they are training for the defense, I think in this point, a good defense is by attack. Do not wait for the wolves to come stalking out. Attack their den while they nurse their pups. I need to know where this raider island is. And if I can get you back to your homeland safely and quietly, and your people can tell me where he is, I will not even return to this town. I will leave your island and I will head straight for them before any word can get out.
Very well.
My next question for you is, do you want to be left on your island so that you can be with your friends? Or would you like a brand new steel sword placed in your hand so you can cut Vigo's throat? I've seen how feisty.
I've not trained in the blade.
Then if you wish, I will take you to your home, and you are free.
As long as you promise me Vigo will die, I will help you.
When we kill him, I will bring you his head myself.
I don't care for his head, I just want him dead.
You don't have to keep it, it's a phrase. I will bring you his head so that you can see he's dead, and then I will take it and leave. So that you will know. And then perhaps your people and my people can sign an everlasting peace. Starting with negotiations of trade that are in the favor of your people.
That was initially why Vigo came, was to make a deal.
I understand that. And that is why I'm sticking to it. I'm a man of my honor. The deal needs to be kept. We are people of our word. Vigo does not represent us. He never should have. He used magics to make that happen.
Very well. We shall see what will be done.
Do you know how much they bought you for?
They didn't.
You
Ego
were just
took me
taken-
himself.
What did you do for a living?
I was one of the, what do you call them? Jarl's daughters.
I'm gonna reach into my inventory. This isn't out of the party gold. This is my cut that I've been collecting. I want to give her 258 silver pieces.
She looks at you. What is this for?
Your life was robbed and no one can put a price tag on that. If you find it difficult to fit in with your family again, then, or if your father tries to force you to marry someone sooner than you'd like, I want you to have this money so that you can go off and start your own.
You truly do not know my father.
You're right, I don't. I don't even know anything about you except that you were meddling in the tombs.
She looks at you
Tombs
like,
that I was investigating.
she looks at you like, wait, you know anything about that?
I'm sorry, what was that?
She looks at you with this look of like, oh no, don't talk about it. We don't know, no one was supposed to know about that sort of look.
I don't think we
But
can
I'm-
cover her on that.
Oh no, we haven't. I just
No.
did it.
Yeah.
I want you to know no one else knows, and no one needs to know. I know, but I've never treated you any different. I still treat you as an equal. I don't know what you were doing in there, and I don't need to know. As far as I'm concerned, given the circumstances, you were robbed of your life. All the traumas that you've endured, this measly 200 whatever coins is in this sack will not ever make up for it. But consider it my thanks for not using what was in that tomb to destroy my people, because you could have. I stand up and I leave.
Okay.
And I leave intentionally without telling Varger in case he wants to have words with her.
Yeah, he doesn't. He waits for Bjork to leave. Aslif,
Yes.
what were you doing in that tomb?
Seeking an end to problems.
Can you be more specific?
No.
Is it because you think I'm going to call you a heathen?
No. Why do you need to know? It is not something you need to know.
You had done a ritual to hell, right?
She just sits there looking at you like, not acknowledging or denying it either way.
And I know, okay, he just keeps going. And I know that the efforts of my friends attempting to stop the ritual, and when I was with them, I cast aside the thoughts and beliefs of my father. And I tried to help stop it. If you think or you know anyone that can complete it, let me know.
To what end?
Yorick, Lambast, Reese, we have seen things. The gods are ending all. The end times are coming. And you and I are not just from the same place, but we have the same faith. And if we sit on the same side, and we know and are agents for the same God, then we know what must come with Ragnarok, and we must complete it to change what will happen. The stories about Ragnarok are that we will, told Loki will kill who he must, and he will die. But what if we could change it? Sway things in his favor and be rewarded with it.
I care not for Ragnarok, one way or the other.
What?
I do not care for Ragnarok.
You know, what do you care about then?
Things that one day you may understand.
I don't have forever. If the end times are coming. So, I will give you this opportunity to tell me and to pick a side. Either the side of Loki to fasten and hasten the end times, to win his favor, or betray my father and all the work you've done for him.
I don't care for Loki either. That is where you're mistaken.
So you didn't do a ritual for him?
No.
And I admitted to you in private conversation between the two of us that I also follow him now?
You did.
Varger draws his dagger, and I would like to throw it at him.
Roll a charisma save.
Ooh, crisp save. That's a flat 16.
You barely make it. You feel something impeding your ability to do that. Your vision goes black, and you're just able to shrug it off.
Just make it as in I managed to do it, or just
Yes,
make it
you're able to shrug it off, but
Okay.
you definitely felt there was something.
Okay.
So you shrug it off and connect as you wish.
Alright. So, question. She hasn't taken a turn in combat yet, right?
Technically, she did. She saw you draw your blade.
I mean, but would she be considered surprised that I threw it?
No, that's what I was
Okay.
saying.
That's a 23 to hit her.
That hits.
And dagger damage.
I guess the night's about to get a lot more interesting, Bjork.
That is 7 damage.
A scream goes out from a female voice as a dagger sticks into her. She looks at you with immense hatred now.
I will run over to her and grab her like shoulders if she's collapsing and see if it looks like it's a fatal wound.
Not quite fatal, but it definitely was intentional, and you see Varger's dagger sticking out of her.
Why? I'll look at Varger.
He will look at Bjork. Look at her. She admitted to being an agent of Loki.
I didn't know such a thing.
I take out my spear. Varga, you admitted to be an agent of Loki once. Did I strike you down? You didn't admit to me that you weren't until far later. And even then, I did not strike you down. I ask again, why? You don't think I knew that something was up? She went into, and I guess at this point everybody's looking over. She went into the catacombs, where a ritual was recently performed to hell. Do you think I did not know that? Or at least that there was something going on, and I did not stab her, put a spear through her, so I ask again, why?
Because she knows things that she cannot know.
And who
Me.
determines that?
I need both of you to roll a charisma save.
Oh, fudge. I got disconnected because I timed out. What?
Odd.
My network must have fudged.
Network fudging.
Okay, this will be interesting. Oh, it's already in the tray. Please be high. Please be high. Okay. Oh, I rolled an nat 20 plus 1, so 21.
Okay. And what did you get, Burger?
I would use my inspiration.
Okay.
Sorry. 7.
7? Alright. I don't see your inspiration.
Wait. You rolled a 7, but what's your charisma bonus?
7.
Since you're rogue, isn't it?
Plus 0.
Oh no!
So Varger goes stiff, like he's like silently screaming, and he's just like frozen there with like this horrific visage on his face, just like he's screaming, wailing like a banshee, but there's no sound. Just
Bjork is not smart enough to know what any of this means. So he just says, "Answer me, why?"
he can't speak. She pulls the blade
I
out
help her up.
and tosses it down. You
Do you
see,
need help?
as you say that, you look and you see like black vines stitch over the wound and pull it shut.
What is your purpose here?
What do you mean I was captive?
I understand that. I meant your purpose here in Midgard.
I was born here.
And why did you choose this fate?
I didn't. It was not by my choice.
I believe you. Thank you for freezing him. Why did you... And I kind of like look around all dizzy. Why did you try it on me?
It's an area thing. I cannot choose to
Oh.
or not to.
Well, either way, you potentially saved his life.
You may need to watch him more closely. I do not believe he's... I stayed true to who he had told you he followed.
I began to become concerned when I saw the burned down house.
Going home is probably going to be a bigger challenge for him than he likes to admit.
How do you mean?
Do you know who his people are?
No.
They are
I've
servants
only met
of the
his
wolf.
So he knows.
His father is a servant of the wolf and stole his mother from our island.
But he's been in communication with his father, which means he knows.
How? His father and his people don't have communication like that. They are
He points to
feral
the burned
beasts.
building. His father has been seeing him.
No. That is not possible.
But yet he says it is. Even tells me the details of their conversation.
I question his sanity. Even more than I must.
Do you think you can get the location out of him?
He does not know it as well as he might think. Not well enough to navigate there safely.
Then we don't have anything to worry about. We're still back to square one. I kind of looked to Varger. Really, brother? Really?
She's like, he'll be back momentarily. She gets up and leaves. Burger.
I turn back to the table. Continue. And tell the guys.
Burger. During this time, you are in a desolate landscape. Nothing living. All dead. All around you is just wails of dead. Despair. What do you do?
What do I see above me? If it's all desolation, what's above me?
Nothing. Just endless, depressing gray nothingness. No sun, no clouds, no stars.
So I'll just walk, I guess. So just. I guess look for a shore or look for some kind of place away of.
You turn around, looking around for something like that. All you see is sparse, dead trees, lifeless. And the whales constantly emanating from everywhere.
You'll think back to the last time he was at someplace strange and unusual. And he'll just yell out, "Is there anyone here?"
The closest place you had a feeling like that was where you met your mother recently.
Yeah, and this is like the complete opposite.
Mm-hmm. You scream out, "Is anyone here?" And you get reply, a bunch of screams of pain and suffering.
I will follow the screams.
Okay. You walk on and on. There's screams everywhere. You start heading towards one, and next thing you know, you hear that there's a different one in a different area, that the other one you were following is quieted. And it's just... you feel like you've been traveling for hours and hours, and there's nothing.
I guess eventually he'll just sit down and just kind of. I would say he doesn't give up, but he just stops looking for somewhere and just kind of just sits down, trying to drown out screaming, and then lay down.
You hear a feminine voice come to you as you lie there. "Give yourself to me."
In what way?
"Serve me."
Can you? I realize you're probably some spirit from some great powerful being. Can you not whisper?
"Do you wish to die?"
I don't wish to die, but
"Do you wish to never die?"
yes.
You hear like a dry, old, dead voice laughing.
I think piecing the pieces of everything together in his head is like, okay, I have to break the thing for a second here and ask Geralt a question. I've heard her being called Hela. Is it just Hell or Hela?
It's Hela. Hell is kind of an informal term for her, and she rules over Helheim. But it's either or.
Okay. Well, Varda will just, old woman thinking back to the statue and the looking like a half a woman and all the stories and stuff he's heard about hell. Hello. We have had agents. We have had the arm of Odin, and we have the arm of other gods from other lands. And if the end times are coming, I want to be on the side where my fate is ensured, regardless of the outcome. You are continuing with his delusion, because you are my sister. We are brother and sister to the same father, but I am mortal and you are not. And if I must act as your agent to meet your goals and father's goals, then I must.
No,
Do whatever it takes.
not him. Just me.
So you offer me
Life
fate.
eternal.
I have a mother who has chosen religion over my love. And I have a father who did not love me. Until he came to me in fire to laugh at me.
Well, that was not your father.
That was not.
That was mine. And he will suffer before the end is done.
Barger is like somebody who's just discovered that, like, you know, that Santa Claus is, you know. So he's just completely taken aback by it. And then he just kind of just slumps.
Embrace me and fear not death. Fear not age.
He will stand up with his arms out wide. Embrace me, Ella.
You come back too. You're in the longhouse. You recall, you just threw your knife, it's there on the ground. Bjork, are you still there, or did you leave him?
I went back to the table.
Parker's just taking in everything. That is Ashley still in front?
No, she's not anywhere around. You don't see her.
He'll just whisper, Are you with me now?
Bring death. Let all embrace timelessness.
Bring death.
And you see everyone before you, the longhouse, all of it, basically deteriorate as though time has taken their toll. And then it comes back to how it is now.
And I didn't change.
No. Everything else deteriorated and you're still there. Fully in control while everything was dead and desolate around you. Let them know. That the end is not death if they so choose. Bring all into the fold.
Question about the longhouse.
Yeah.
From one room to the other, is it just an open archway? Like, could they see into this room that I'm in right now?
Yeah. You're basically down the ways a bit. There is some closed off rooms, but you were just down the ways a bit from where they were at. Between you and them is open.
Open with people or just open?
Open space. I mean, there's some, fire and there's some chairs and stuff, but it's not any walls.
If I have to do something to ensure that death is insured for all, is that what you should do?
No. She said that death is insured for them right now. Bring them into the fold so that they may not die. Basically, she's telling you that by one means or another, death and decay will come to all around you. But through her, it can be prevented.
Okay. And how do I do that? Convert them, or?
That I leave to your skills.
My skill is killing people. But if I can act as a conduit, as an in-between,
What is it you're looking for exactly?
like,
You're
is this her way of saying, like, because my skill is stabby, kill, or beguiling, like lying to people, but killing them doesn't bring them closer to not death.
She shows you a bunch of different paths, different options. Sending them all to her domain means that they can be returned in some semblance of life. Having them embrace her as you did means that it's a different form of life. And then all the options there in between. So if they embrace her, they can, basically she's saying they can have the essence similar to what she's given you. If the best way you find is to send them to her domain, they can still be useful.
Then I have to ensure that she can do that. Vargo will think about it in his head for a little bit.
Okay. We were thinking, camera pans over to Bjork at the table with this looking baiting behind him the image of Vargar pondering the whisperings that has just happened. Bjork, what do we find you and Lembast at the table doing?
I basically come in to get recapped by the guys, but I know Lombast wanted to have conversations with the old Jarl, so I didn't know if you wanted to roleplay that out.
Yeah, I would have liked to do that while you and Vargar were gone.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I thought.
Well, I didn't know if you'd stayed there. I thought you were at the table with the other people.
Yeah, I went back to the other people, but I didn't know if Lombast wanted a chance to do
Yeah.
that while we were...
Would Lembast wait at the table, or would he excuse himself and go back to the smith?
I would go back to the smith real quick.
That's fine. Then yeah. While Bjork is speaking with Asleaf and Vargar, Lembast slips out of the longhouse and goes back to the smith's abode.
Hello.
As you near it, you actually hear a very familiar sound. The sound of worship.
I'm walking.
You see he's there working the forge.
Hello.
How can I help you, Lembast?
I noticed your hand.
Yes.
So, who else is here?
Just I, for now.
What does for now mean?
I've been working on potentially others.
Are they here to help, or are they here to conquer?
I am trying to bring those who live here to a better way. To those who will listen, I have spoken.
How many?
A handful.
Are they important?
Some are. Why do you ask?
These people, while yes, could benefit from our ways, could also greatly not benefit. There's a level of freedom they have that we do not. They offer us nothing. We are beyond them, not only in our practices, but also in our systems, and they themselves would fall prey to their own barbaric ways. When you heat metal, too far, it starts to spark and it starts to eat away at itself. You know this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that metal, although you can mend it by adding or forge welding more metal to it, do we ever do so? No, because it creates a weaker blade. It is gone. We cut off the rot and we dispose of it, and then we start to forge a new one. Maybe that sword becomes a short sword. Maybe that short sword becomes a blade. But either way, it serves its purpose in the end.
Mm-hmm.
But we do not play with the rot. That is what we will be doing here. All we're doing is applying a fix to the metal that has already rotted itself out. They need to figure this stuff out for themselves. Need to figure out how to take that giant hammer they have and make it into something new, something better.
Mm-hmm.
Refine it themselves.
That I understand. Those who mainly listen are those who have accepted other trades and have already moved away from the old ways of the island.
Or one of those people, the people who are coming back, not necessarily in kind.
And no, those are ones who more embrace the old ways, just a separate part of it. It was a wolf on the sail, was it not?
What?
It was a wolf on the sail, was it not?
I don't remember.
Do you know the lore of the wolf?
Can't say I do.
You should speak to your friend Bjork on it.
All I care about is that we are not here to force them into our ways, but
No,
necessarily to
no.
enlighten them to them.
No, I'm not forcing anyone. Just like I tried to impart to your friend Bjork. There's no need to be Jarl to do the things he wants. You don't have to be a Jarl to lead.
I understand what you're saying, but again, you're speaking to people who only know the only way to heaven is through bloodshed.
I'm gathering that with him. I was hoping his time with you may have enlightened him some, and so I attempted.
It has, but he's not there yet. He
Very
needs
well.
more time. He is a leader, but he needs to get past whatever he's going through. Crying, I guess, we would call it. I gave him wisdom that people who wish for change show change. They don't cry about it.
That is true.
He took the words to heart, and that's why he came to you. He wishes to be that change. I hope he understands that as a Jarl and as a future leader in the making, he needs to follow through with his word, and that means might mean him not going on his so-called raid. The battle forthcoming will give us a true indication whether he's a leader or not.
Indeed. You
As long
hammer
as you are
iron.
not here to hurt the people, I have nothing
No.
else to say to you other than it's nice to see a friendly face.
Lambast, this is my home. I grew up in those very halls. I wish to see them a better life for them.
That may be so, but Lamb points to his hand casually. That also means loyalty to someone else. And I know what that loyalty can request.
Oh, I know. But at the same time, it's more passion that has driven this part, not blind obedience.
You may see it that way, but they may not. Either way, I know you have good intentions, so I will leave you to your craft. Or rather, to your belief. See ya. And Lamb's gonna go back to the longhouse.
Okay. Bjork, you come back over to the table. You see Lembast coming back in the door.
Everything okay, Lambast?
Oh, yeah. Me and him just had some casual conversation about where he got the hammer and that kind of stuff. You know, good talk about my lands and what he saw of them, stuff like that. I'll tell you about it later.
I'm glad. I sidestep a little bit towards Lambast. Keep an eye on Varga, okay?
Where is Varga?
Well, he's right over it, and I turn around to look towards where he is.
He's not there anymore.
Curse it all. He's stabbed off sleeve. Right here in the
Probably for
longhouse.
good reason.
Probably. Only she had the power to strike him down and chose not to. And warned me
Not
about.
there?
I had walked away when the stab occurred. I had no idea what the conversation was leading up to it. However, when I met Varga, I knew he was a worshipper of Loki and chose not to punish him for it. Again, fractures in my belief have been going on for a while. But I think my irritation with his going back and forth is Varga is a people pleaser. A coward. Although I've seen him in battle and he does a good fight, he flops around like a fish on the beach. So, which side of him is the real side? However, to be part of this mission and understand that I'm trying to get leadership and understand that I'm trying to make real positive changes around here, be a man of action, to hear the speeches and say he's with me, and then do that just shows his chaotic nature seeping through. Burning down his house, foregoing the act that he charaded on for the last few weeks. It makes me wonder if he's been a follower of Loki the whole time, and when he told me he wasn't, it was just a trick. I'm also not saying I trust a damn thing that comes out of that venomous snake's mouth, talking about Asleaf, of course. So, keep an eye on him.
I'm confused, though. In the short time that I've known him and you, he's never once tried to hurt us. Never once led us astray.
He led one of our members astray. He
You
put a
were holding
division.
against him then. Why now?
I'm not holding against him. I think if you are able to temper a man's faith or shaken it to where they lose their connection, and I'm talking about Wrath, by the way, then maybe their faith wasn't strong enough anyway. A person who's strong in their convictions and beliefs will not be swayed by the strongest ocean.
No,
However-
they'll be swallowed by it.
Exactly. However, the fact that he did attempt such a thing, tricksters are everywhere. Would you rather have a trickster out of sight, where you don't know what they're doing or what's going on, or would you rather have them in the fold where you can keep an eye on them and watch their every move?
Well, he did attack somebody, and as far as you know, without justification, your so-called reasoning behind it, while maybe just to you, does not mean it's just to everyone else. It should be brought to the attention of everyone else. You are going to be the future leader. You should approach these things as a leader would. Bring him to trial. Have her stay her side and have him stay his side. This is not something to idly chat about.
That's why I'm speaking with you. I wanted your advice.
Oh, well, let's go back to the
And that's
table.
exactly
Let's
That's
see what has
exactly
happened.
how I feel about it. Neither one of them's trustworthy. We found her footsteps heading out of the tombs, correct? And when we went inside, we found a ritual had recently been performed. I suspected her from the start. But there's a lot of weird things that Varga does that it has no explanation.
Well, let's go and bring this to people's attention as one of the first things you're going to be doing at Gerald.
Yes, in fact, they're already waiting for my report. Because we had all, Lambas doesn't know this, but we had all witnessed what had happened.
Yeah.
I returned to the table. Gentlemen, what clearly just happened behind us is going to take a more pressing matter of our attention than these plans.
And as Bjork speaks to them, the camera quickly pans over. We find Varga doing what and where. What is Varga doing?
If I can do the camera pan for a second.
Yeah.
The camera control. So the camera goes from the table where they're talking, turns, goes out the front door of the longhouse. There's a sad baby, the camera goes past. Out the front door, down the hill, down through the community. And it pans to the pans past Bjork's family home, and then there is Varga's back holding a torch in front of the boathouse that he knows Bjork's secret longboat is. He's got images going through his mind, and he's wild-eyed. And then there's like just that imagery that they talked about of him being of a fish flapping on the beach, and it just goes still, and it just kind of breathes in that last bit of like real air, and then it's just a still fish, and his eyes just settle, and he just throws the torch in to this boathouse.
The fire spreads and spreads. An alarm is raised. Fire! 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 We'll try to rush over and see what they can do to put the fire out, but the barn rapidly is engulfed in flames. Back in the longhouse.
Oh no! As people are trying to put it, Varga's just yelling, just yelling at the top of his lungs. Come to me! I will give you eternal life. Come to me! And just fucking out of it.
A lot of people are like looking at him like, are you mad? We're trying to put a fire out. A few of them are like, help us put the fire out. We don't want it to spread.
And he's like grabbing like broken sticks from the fire and just trying to run and throw it at other buildings to set them on fire.
Back in the longhouse, Bjork, you just finished telling them about this problem.
Yeah, and I'm getting towards the point of it. I recommend a trial, but not a trial like any other Jarl has experienced.
Fire! Fire! Fire!
This will have to wait.
Fire!
And I turn on my heel and I start going towards the ruckus.
You open the door and you see a plume of smoke and flame. And you know that direction.
I look to Lombast. It's the boat. Assemble your men.
And then you see another one start.
I just calmly pushing back all my rage. Lombast, assemble the men. And I start heading in that direction.
They're all right there.
They're all right there.
Yeah.
Quick, food stores, save all the food now.
food-
He like goes, now, go.
The food
And
stores
then,
are here at the Longhouse, sir.
Yeah, move them.
Where would you like them moved to? It's the only space that can hold them.
Protect the food stores at all costs.
That we can
Get
do.
Buckets, get water. Do it fast. Everyone else that has hands, start trying to playing patrol. Put out the fires of the houses starting on fire. Don't worry about the bow house. It's gone.
Sir, yes,
Set
sir.
off the fire from spreading.
They go bolting.
I'm gonna start running after Jarl. Burek.
Bjork.
Yeah, Burek.
Camera follows as you charge towards Bjork and moves past you up to Bjork.
Yes.
Heavy breathing. The bow house is gone. We need to stop the spread.
I agree. Let's start evacuating the homes closest to the fire, making sure that everybody's okay.
Yes. The smoke is the most dangerous.
Agreed.
A quick
In
question.
fact, yeah.
I was gonna say, a quick question to Vargar. Vargar, do you continue to try to spread the fire?
He continues to try to spread the fire, but eventually he'll try to move from. Because I don't. Okay. I'm not gonna use meta knowledge because I don't want to fucking do that.
Yeah.
Enough. So, not knowing what they're doing with the food storages or that there's anything in the Longhouse, he wouldn't know about that. He wouldn't care about that. So he'll go to the opposite end, and you know what? He'll go towards like the residences, the actual like homes people live in. But he'll start with your step-parents.
Bjork, as you come down the road, getting ready to turn towards the boathouse, you see a familiar individual. And they're running straight towards your step-parents' house with a flaming torch, flaming branch.
The only thing I can think to do to catch their attention so that they can get out in time is I hold up the horn that I tried to destroy and I blow into it with all my diligence.
Roll d20 and add your religion modifier.
Seven.
There's inspiration on the table if you want to use it.
Yeah, sure, why not? Either way, it works good for me. Seven.
Wow, 7 it is.
Fate has decided.
Indeed. The horn blows.
I smirk. Yeah, at least the horn blows.
And you notice something dark, almost like a cloak, billows out from behind Vargar. And like, almost seems like it swats at a distance at like your horn. And it isn't as loud as it was before. It's like it blows like half volume. Varger, you...
Realizing... Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, Varger, you hear this horn blow behind you.
He will stop mid-stride. He'll look at Yorick. He would yell the distance. She brings us eternal life, and you will join her, as you will your parents did. And still looking at him, he'll toss the torch towards his step-parents, the York step-parents' house.
Okay. Roll a religion check followed by a standard throw attack, so a strength. Okay. And then strength for throwing the torch. The burning branch.
Religion is a 20.
Mhm.
And just a flat strength check is 19.
Yorick, you see the split face of a female, old, decayed, rotting, skeletal, beautiful, young, elegant, smiling happily behind Varger as the torch lands right on your parents' home.
I realize when the horn didn't work that she's smiling at me as if she's defeated me, not as if she's thwarted Heimdall. And the dilemma I've been dealing with for the last few weeks finds peace. I slowly take the horn off, cast it aside. Lambast is still near me getting all the people out of the homes, right?
Yeah, it would be.
We need to evacuate the other homes.
We need to find the source of the fire.
I found it.
Where?
It's Varger. He is the evil one.
Is Varger still standing there?
Mm-hmm. And you see fire starting on the home of Bjork, where his stepmother and father are residing.
Go get your parents.
I think it's too late for that. He motions towards the shape of the woman coming off of Varger's back.
It's not there anymore when you look back at it.
He's possessed by hell herself. I wouldn't be able
Fuck
to get
you.
through to the home.
Lamb starts running straight for the straw-hatched low roof and just jumps through the burning part into the house.
Let's have you roll a religion
like-
check.
Give me a second. This is gonna suck.
I know, that's why I'm not acting on it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna use my inspiration for that.
Okay.
$11.
That's enough. You have a modifier due to your askance nature to them. You shatter through, and you're in. You notice the smoke is starting to fill the house.
What's the names of your parents, Beard?
It's Baggy, and Gunvar.
Becky, Gunva, where are you?
They
I'm
come out.
gonna start heading to like what might be the bedroom area.
Yeah, they actually come out from there.
Out now! Go low, low, low.
They follow your directions and move out.
And it's at this point what I wanted to do was cast the horn aside and charge Varga
Okay.
before he could burn any other homes down.
So you cast the horn. Lamba starts charging past you. Jump in. You charge Varger. Varger, what are you doing as this happens?
Like, okay, when you're charging him, Bjork, is it with your weapons out, or is it?
Oh, I have the spear. The moment the whole stab with the girl happened, I kept my grip on the spear.
All right. It's if he sees him run, if you're running him, his first reaction is he's going to draw a short sword and go straight towards you, just right on.
The moment you start charging, I stop in my footsteps. And I would like to roll initiative.
Yep. So we'll have the two of you roll initiative, and then Dump, go ahead and roll initiative as well. For Lambast. So we can have you act. And you can do what you need to do during this process. This took an interesting turn of events.
16 for Dumpy.
My initiative is a 21.
Punch it in on the thing.
I got 9.
Did you guys get it all on your wheel?
Oh, I didn't know we were going to battle since 8:30. Sorry.
Oh, I didn't see the time.
Yeah, I thought this was a perfect cliffhanger.
This is. You are right. So we'll pick up here next time, where we have battle between Varger and Bjork, and we will see what happens from there. Thank you all for joining us. Be sure to follow all these wonderful people if you haven't already. Turn on notifications so you know every time they're live and the fun that they have. Thank you for joining us, as always. Until next time, enjoy the story. See you all then.